Grab bag for the Aaron Rodgers trade. Aaron Rodgers is the best Jets quarterback since who or whom, as the case may be.
Oh, wow. Aaron Rodgers, the best Jets quarterback since. It's hard not to go Brett Favre right there. I mean, I'm going to say Brett Favre for right now. I'm not going to say Sanchez. He's not getting billing there. It's Brett Favre or Vinny Testaverde. I'll go Brett Favre.
Yeah, I think it is Brett Favre. That 1 year they had with Brett Favre. And I was thinking about this earlier. Under the Aaron Rodgers trade terms, the Packers would have gotten a first-round pick for Brett Favre because he took at least 65% of the snaps. The problem is, remember that season started great?
Yeah.
You played them when you were with the Titans. They were the 1 seed. There was talk between Brett Favre and his partially torn biceps tendon. And remember when Plexico Burress accidentally shot himself in the leg in the Manhattan nightclub? That's when the Giants, who were on track to be the 1 seed, fell apart. There was Jets-Giants Super Bowl talk in 2008.
Right.
And Favre got that injury, and it fell apart, and they didn't make the playoffs that year. But I think Favre, the best quarterback pre-Aaron Rodgers. They've been struggling ever since then to get the answer that they need. All right, what's more likely? Rodgers is going to be closer to the MVP form that we saw in 2020 and 2021, or he's going to be the guy that we saw last year who wasn't quite an MVP?
I'm going 2021 here. For all the reasons you've always explained, we've always explained. He's a chippy dude. You know, he wants to prove people wrong. It's a new, fresh start. We've seen what that can do. You know, we still are only 2 years away from – hey, Tom Brady, or, 3 years from that, Tom Brady, new team, Bucks, Matthew Stafford, new teams, Rams, Super Bowl wins for both of them. I think all the motivation and the talent of the team, I expect more of the 2021 form than last year.
Yeah, I think motivated, determined, pissed off. You make this guy mad, and he's going to be more locked in. He's going to be more focused, and he's going to do what he has to do. One thing I didn't mention earlier, I wrote about this yesterday. There's a technically 25% chance he goes back to Lambeau Field in 2024 if he's still playing for the Jets, because they're in that weird scheduling formula for the 17th game where you play one team from a division in the other conference. The way it works out next year, it's AFC East, NFC North. If they finish in the same spot this year, Packers, Jets, they play next year at Lambeau Field, even though they played there last year. So another reason maybe for Aaron Rodgers to come back, because he'll know before he makes his decision where the Jets are playing their games, who they're playing in 2024. All right, true or false? The Jets 2023 version is the best supporting cast Aaron Rodgers has ever had.
Ooh, that's a good one here. Off the top of my head, I kind of want to say yes, but I'm not quite sure I'm ready to go down that angle. I mean, all right, so here's the defense is certainly in that conversation, where you could go, this is the best defense maybe he's ever had. And then you get into the weapons on the offensive side of the ball, and it's up there. Now, listen, when they were in like 2014, right, when they had 2014, 2015, he did have a young Devontae Adams who wasn't contributing a ton yet. He did have Randall Cobb, right? And then he did have Jordy Nelson. That was a pretty good crew right there. But man, overall, I think there's more potential for this group right here to do danger. It's a more dangerous group overall. But it's close. I mean, some of those Packers offenses in 2014, 2015, they were damn good. It was a good offensive line. But I'd probably give the edge to the Jets, I think, with overall potential and explosive nature, and then you add the defensive side onto that.
I think that it's hard to say that the supporting cast, when they haven't played a game yet, is better than the team that won a Super Bowl in 2010.
Right.
So
I hear you. Right.
I can't go there yet. I think it's TBD. Jets are the second favorite behind the Bills to win the AFC East. Do you agree with that set of odds, that the Jets behind the Bills come in second to win that division?
Man, it's close. I think I'd still give the Dolphins the edge, but barely. I don't know. That's just how I feel. That Dolphins roster, I still look at that and go, even as much as I love the Jets roster, I think the Dolphins one is still better. And then I think there's the other factor of the Dolphins with Vic Fangio on defense now, and of course Mike McDaniel and his offensive genius. I can't put the Jets offense on that level yet. I can't. So I would still go with the Dolphins as the second team there in the AFC East.
You know, I don't disagree with you. The thing that is stunning to me, Patriots plus 750, bringing up the rear after they dominated that division for 20 years. They are now squarely in the basement on paper. They have a chance to pick someone off, and maybe it'll be the Jets. Maybe wouldn't that be something if after all this the Jets end up in last place in the AFC East? When you look at that schedule, it isn't out of the question. Although they do have the fourth place schedule. Remember we talked about multiple teams making it to the playoffs. They have that schedule where they all play. Every team in the AFC West, they play every team in the NFC East. It is a tough schedule, and they cannibalize each other. These good teams twice against each other. That makes it hard as well for anyone other than the division champion to get out of there into the postseason. The Packers have the worst odds to win the NFC North. Do you agree with that? That they bring up the rear among the Bears, Lions, and Vikings?
I don't agree with that. First off, the Packers down year, whatever, injuries, didn't play their best, blew some opportunities. I still think the Packers can be, a nuisance in the NFC. I do not agree with them pulling up the rear. I do think at least they should be up above the Bears. And then, I'm not so sure. I mean, really, when you go roster and player for player, I don't think it's that far off within the Vikings. So I'm going to say third for right now. But I don't think the gap between the Vikings and the Packers is that huge, really.
I was doing something yesterday, and I was asked if I was starting a team right now, what coach would I hire? And I really struggled because all the best coaches are older. And, if I'm starting a team now, I want guys who are going to be around. I ultimately settled on Sean Payton because he's late 50s. I'd get 15 years out of him because Belichick and Carroll out of the question, right? But then it dawned on me. I want Matt LaFleur. Perfect combination of success and age. I know he's going to be with me for a long time. I don't want to be an ageist here, but I'm trying to plan for the future. I want somebody that I know is going to be around, and I know LaFleur is going to be there for a long time, and he was 13-3, 13-3, 13-4 with this Aaron Rodgers dysfunction roiling. I mean, I remember when he got that job, I thought, oh, God, Aaron Rodgers is going to chew him up and spit him out, and he found a way to navigate around Aaron Rodgers. So I say that because I'm not writing off the Packers because Matt LaFleur can work magic with this situation. Matt LaFleur may be a better coach without having to tiptoe on eggshells around the delicate genius. It may liberate him as a coach.
Open him up, right?
He may be better than he's ever been. He can finally run his offense the way he wants to. One of the reasons Nathaniel Hackett failed in Denver, he was too deferential to Russell Wilson because he didn't want to go through the same crap they went through in Green Bay when they had to be deferential to the delicate genius. So much for me and Aaron getting along. So anyway, I agree with you. They should not be bringing up the rear. That may be a good bet to make if you're inclined.
You're going to take
LaFleur
over Shanahan and McVay and Sirianni. I just found that a curious comment. I just wanted to throw it out there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yes. Sirianni hasn't done enough yet for me to put him in that list. And you asked me the question, I'll give you the answer.
Yeah.
I'm cooled off on McVay. He's got to prove himself to me again. And you got Kyle's a little too stubborn when it comes to the quarterback position. I think it's hurting him. So yeah, I'm no longer in the Kyle Shanahan is the next Bill Belichick mode. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. Get that Super Bowl win, and maybe I'll change my mind. But something's wrong with the quarter. Something's haywire with the quarterback position. You pulled me there. You pulled me there. But they just can't solve that quarterback situation, and I think at some point it's on him. All right. What's more likely? The Jets win the AFC or the Packers win the NFC?
Ooh. Like the whole conference? Well, the whole
the trophy,
damn thing.
The ugly Monopoly piece trophy. That ugly trophy. The trophies were fine, and they have that oversized Monopoly piece now. Which one's more likely to be holding that Monopoly piece? Remember when Bill Belichick had it? He just kind of threw it off to the side.
Well, I'm going with the Jets here for sure. I mean, the Jets' potential is great.
Wow.
It is. I am. I mean, if I could see one team out of these two, right? I could see the Jets, reaching their potential and being one of the best teams in the AFC. I think that's probably why Woody and everybody, the Woody Johnson and Saleh and everybody made the move. I think that's where they look at it. And, I think on paper, hey, that potential's there. The Packers, I can't quite say that. And then also I just go, damn, they got, the Eagles in that conference and the 49ers still that I think are clearly on another level from them as a football team. So that's where I go Jets, even though I know the AFC's awesome. Their talent's pretty damn good. It's real.
I got to disagree with you. I got to say the Packers because of the fact that you've got Mahomes, you've got Josh Allen, you've got the Dolphins where they are right now if Tua stays healthy, you've got Joe Burrow. Murderer's row to get through, to navigate the postseason. And who on that team has any experience other than Aaron Rodgers? And what's his experience in recent years? Fail to capitalize, fail to perform, get too cautious, get too careful. The weight of the moment is on his shoulders. He doesn't play in the postseason like he plays in the regular season. I'll go Packers. And by the way, there's a chance the Packers and the Jets play before next year. It's a 25% chance they play in 24. It's a slimmer chance they play this year in the Super Bowl. The odds are 200-1, a.k.a. plus 20,000. Jets, Packers in Super Bowl 58. Super Bowl 58. Had to stop and think for a second. Decade or two off. Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Wouldn't that be something? I mean, look, if we want the ultimate outcome to this season, then sign me up. All due respect to the other 30 teams, sign me up for Jets, Packers at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas.
Green versus green, and all the fans can go to Vegas and lose all their green. Sounds good to me. I'll be there. All right.
But if you bet it now, you can win some green at plus 20,000. Jets, Packers. Isn't it worth? Again, I don't bet. I don't even think we can. I'm not interested. I enjoy the sport without having to have skin in the game, and I'm too damn cheap. But boy, it would be tempting to put $10 just for craps and giggles. I'm trying to be good today. Now that they're firing cable hosts left and right, craps and giggles.
Yeah.
I you knew I was going to get it in somewhere.
Got it in.
I'd put $10 on that. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.